Hey guys, welcome to the first video of my Web Development for Absolute Beginners series. This entire series is for anyone wanting to learn basic web design and web development. There's absolutely no prerequisites. I'm teaching this course as if I'm talking to someone that's never written a line of HTML before. So don't worry about having any kind of prior web development knowledge. Remember that HTML is a programming language that communicates instructions to your web browser. It instructs the web browser on exactly how the web page should be displayed to the viewer. In this lesson, we're going to go over the structure of a basic HTML document. This structure will be the foundational building block of any HTML web page. We'll start off with a very simple page and add several elements to it as we progress through this section. Before we begin, you'll need to open Notepad++ if you're on a Windows, or Text Wrangler if you're on a Mac. Let's go over each element in the instructions they convey to the web browser. First of all, the document begins with the doctype HTML tag. This tag tells the browser that the markup of the language in which the page is written is HTML. Keep in mind that there are different types of HTML standards. When it comes to coding your web page, some HTML standards are quite strict and instruct the browser to follow a very strict set of rules when passing and interpreting the code. An example of this is XHTML. The XHTML standard will check to make sure all your open HTML tags have corresponding closing tags. And you'll understand what that means in just a moment. There are many other compliance measures that make up the XHTML markup. It's not necessary to explore all of these, because for the purpose of this course, we'll be using the HTML5 standard. This standard is more flexible in its compliance requirements among browsers and is also the most widely used. Previous versions of HTML, such as HTML4, are even more flexible, but lack some of the new features inherent with HTML5. We'll learn about some of these new features as we progress through the course. Immediately after the doctype declaration comes the Open HTML tab. The HTML tag is the building block for our page. Most other tags will be nested within the Open HTML tag and the Closing HTML tag. Keep in mind that an open tag must be closed to define the ending of the HTML page. Please note that when we work with other nested languages, such as PHP, the PHP code can be inside or outside the HTML blocks. However, for now, all the tags we work with will be nested inside the HTML open and closing tags. The next tag in our web page structure is the head tag, similar to the HTML tag. The head tag must also have a corresponding closing tag. Note that anything contained within the open head and closing head tag will not be displayed visually within the content area of your browser. For a better understanding of the content area, let's preview this HTML page in our web browser to see what it looks like. To do that, click on Run, and in my case, I'm gonna launch it in Google Chrome. You can select your browser from this list here. We can see what this HTML page will look like in our web browser. The content area is defined as this region of the browser window. The head tag contains important instructions for your browser. First is the title of the page. For this reason, the open title and closing title tags must be contained within the head tags. The actual title of the page should be contained within the title tags. The title of the page is displayed here. You can see that the title of this page is My First Web Page, and that corresponds to the text in between the title tags. The next set of tags contained in our head tag is the meta tag. Meta tag communicate with both the web browser and search engines to provide valuable information about your page. Let's start with the first meta tag. This meta tag is primarily intended for search engines. It's known as the meta name description. The description is followed by the content. It's this snippet of information below the link of a search result. The meta description describes the contents of the page to the searcher. The goal of a meta description is to persuade the searcher to click through to your website. If a method description is not provided, the search engine will automatically generate one based on the content of your page. The next meta tag indicates the character sets of the page. In this tag, the characters that used is UTF-8. Next, we have the viewport meta tag. This is an important tag to include. Keep in mind that most users will not only view your web page through a computer screen, but also through a wide range of mobile devices. The viewport defines the user's visible area of a web page. The viewport varies depending on the device and will be smaller on a mobile phone than on a computer screen. The viewport meta tag gives the browser instructions on how to control the page's dimensions and scaling. The width equals device dash width sets the width of the page to follow the screen width of the device, which will vary depending on the device. The initial scale equals 1 point or sets the initial zoom level when the page is first loaded by the browser. This illustration provides an example of a web page without the viewport meta tag and the same web page with the viewport meta tag on a mobile device. Let's go on to the next tag in our head tag, which is the open and close style tag. The code that is included within the style tags are referred to as style rules, and they defined as cascading style sheet or CSS. The style sheet can be used to define the formatting of just about any element within your HTML document. It can be used to format anything from fonts, line spacing, font color, table borders, image capacity, and hyperlink effects. This course actually has an entire section devoted to CSS because of their importance and frequency of usage. For this reason, all you have to know right now is that the style sheet is located in the head tags. The style tag on this demonstration page has one rule: body color red. This means that all the text located in the body of this HTML document will be displayed in red. But we'll explore this in much more detail later on. The next block of code we see is a JavaScript function. Remember that JavaScript allows us to create interactive effects within web browsers. The head tag contains the JavaScript functions that will be called upon in the body of our HTML document. We have included a basic JavaScript function that will be used to convert the user's text input from lowercase to capital letters. We'll see the JavaScript function in action when we move on to the body section of this HTML document. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys like this video, and make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Learnistic channel. And also, if you have any question, comment below.